Alright. No, shit, we're getting started. Okay, no recess for me, I guess. I was gonna talk to... Thought we were gonna talk to... Whatever. Anyway, the trial will now reconvene from Islamic Sky. Oh, shit. Emma didn't come back. We're fucked. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge regarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trials of civilization. Occasionally helping the out of the cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know. You're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge regarding the evidence room on the day of the crime, took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English. My job was to keep a wary eye on that born orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I'm right, I was at the street side cap. I was at the street side saloon at the time I went down. I was just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. Cap, I'm gonna hit him on that. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint activated locks in the evidence lockers? Fingerprint activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses down, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. Oh, I'm gonna nail his ass right now. I know exactly what to hit him on.
Objection!
Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this. After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. It's a real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects. That is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there.
Objection!
I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your prints were covered in blood. Oh, yes. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints at the crime scene? The blood was wiped away, however. A luminol test clearly revealed this. Whoa, Officer Marshall? It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. Huh? I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall. about the blood-stained fingerprints? Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime. Damn, he's like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint were completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See? I had nothing to do with it. I can... the witness explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine. Yeah, he is hiding something, Phoenix, so we're just gonna press him till he snaps. We're just gonna press him on everything. That's because, how did you put it? Pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine. What? Wait. But then you would know about the... I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now is a heap of broken dreams. I see. It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from the locker's programming. He must have been using the without even knowing it. I'll press him on that. How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on reports. There was a bloodstain at the scene, though, thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found in Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. Yeah, we did. So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Marshall's fingerprints. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? The seal of blood in the desert? It's just food for buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. No, it's not. It's garbage. As long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony. What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. Don't make me watch it again. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. It's at dick level. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without ever being caught on tape. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Oh, we do though. Well, Mr. Wright, if you can show us evidence in this video that indicates what's present, I can actually. Very well, allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. No, I've already seen it, and I already saw it. I didn't point it out, though. Here, look. No object. Let's fast forward. Yep, he walks by. He walks by. Scuffle. He disappears magically. And look at that. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video! 2, 4, 6, 8. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. The locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. No, no. Oh, the white cloth is gone! What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then, it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Oh yes, crowd. Oh yes. Order, order. It would seem that that's... Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was opened? That doesn't mean I'm the one who... What? Who opened it? The murderer needed to hide, so he opened a locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault. He happened to choose mine. What are you talking about, dog? Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah, I call your bluff. You say I open that locker, now prove it. No, okay. Fingerprint sensor? We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, I think the company did something mentioned about this. No, I didn't even send the story to know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? What the hell is he pulling on? I only got 1 word for you, partner. No! What? Order, order, order! Witness, explain yourself. If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you, this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room now at the time of the crime. What is he pulling on? Olay! Please answer the question. What is he now, a bullfighter? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can? Have a look at these floor plans. There is no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness? Seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right, the only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it. It's very simple. Very simple. He was pretending to be Officer Dickweir. Officer Marshall was standing right here. There, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in this video is Officer Marshall. It was you, just like Detective Goodman. That's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure. May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. Yeah, he has him show his card. Something about this officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his key card, ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture on it is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? You've got quite imagination, partner. I got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it. You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. I nearly broke you, you're sweating. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard, but he already said that. Oh, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Well, I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems like you're the one who can't take the desert heat. It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside the box. God damn, she fine. Too bad she did. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall wasn't in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. What? Why do you think this locker was open in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later, as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime, and after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside. So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth? Perhaps... Very well, let's take yet another look at the videotape. After committing the crime, the witness to put away the white cloth. Please show us what the... No, it's not the rubber glove. Peekaboo.
Take that!
For some reason you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When he asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat. You couldn't just walk out like that. So you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner. Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as positioned then as you are today, We all wouldn't have to be here now, would we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. Now. Alright. Seems the time has come. His confession! I had to do it that day. Oh, I had to do it that day. I just couldn't stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take all the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked his ass out. And they managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. So the supposed victim was really you. But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor in the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. There was way too much blood for a small donation. We're gonna press him on that. When you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner? No. Yes, on 9. 2 years ago passed since that close has closed. It was going to completely end with a transferal that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over. What did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look at the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. Why does he care so much? That day was my last chance. That's why I'm just gonna press him on everything. Why did you disguise yourself? If I didn't make it look like Gordon was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card? I stole it that morning of the incident. So that really was why Gordon started filling out that lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left. So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean, the fingerprint accurate the lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't be able to open that lock for yourself. But he could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him away? Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I don't think anyone would actually come in there in that short time. Officer Meekins is certainly 1 in a million type person. Mistaking the detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. We'll have to think a little more about his raise this year. Anyway, he threw himself at me and ended up cutting him. Sorry it had to turn out that way. With me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? I don't know what to say. So you knocked Officer Meekins out and... So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference though. Security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone to plan, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in the struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was obviously me considering doing that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is on that day, but the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What, are you blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner. So then you stole the evidence from the locker. Actually, no, I didn't. Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Miss Edgeworth, where's that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor. His locker was already emptied. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer. This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be given with a simple cut in salary. That's the salary cuts are a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more. I can't just forget the SL incident. You know why? Why? But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it? That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room. Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved a sentence. I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain on how it turned out. But there's something that still bothers me. Something went down in that trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out. Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. I had a feeling we wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I better take another look at the files. We look at the files! Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. I have the SL9 incident file here. The name, Marshall, is mentioned in here. And a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard that name. 2 years ago. He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got. What? A prosecutor? You must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right, he was killed. And the case fell into your hands. But what's his relation to you? He was my brother. He was investigating the murders from Damon Gant, the then deputy chief of police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have just been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, at least one thing's for certain. We now know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with his resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins found him, so he wandered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. Things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, his fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's gotta be more than just that. So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking was a real one. Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Alana Skye.
Objection!
But wait! A verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Objection!
Which is why we examined the incident of the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. Seems to me this boy's got the draw on you, partner. Shut up, Marshall! All the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Starr is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. Ah! I rest my case. It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. Fuck! I dug my own hole again! There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake, but I didn't realize that it would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, the time of the verdict has arrived. The court finds the defendant. Hold it! What the hell? Your Honor, wait! Where the hell have you been? Emma! The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor? Oh, in a sense. Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dart killings. Now that you mentioned it. Wait, what am I talking about at the beginning of this episode? We talked during the recess. She gave me the files. What the fuck am I talking about? Well, that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. But that left only one thing, the other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found in the gumshoes locker? But no fingerprints were found on it, right? No, but I figured out if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So, I ran over there and looked at it again. So you did find something? No. Bruh. Huh? Bruh. Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator at all. Is that all? Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student. I'm not mad. And I'm just an attorney. Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone could save Lana, it's you. I mean, you're not wrong, but me? Oh boy. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the police incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Yeah, actually. Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be... No. There's no way that handprint was there until after the incident with Marshall. So there is an issue. Where did the blood? Yes. What could be wrong with that handprint? Could there be something I'm missing? Yeah, there's a problem. This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is you're grasping, Mr. Wright. You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them? Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing. Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there? Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark. It's the camera. Camera. The question is, what item can prove something is missing? Blue Badger. There's no camera in here, right? Before I pick the Badger. Yeah. Or is it the jar? We're gonna try the Blue Badger first. Music stopped. What about that piece plowed? The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well, what? That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing there, it would be impossible to place a handprint on the spot in the locker. What? Oh yes, crowd. Oh yes, I shoved it up his ass. I mean, what? So that means, this is exactly what that doesn't mean. It means it can't be done. What are you saying? Blood traces are undeniably found in that locker. Don't look at me. I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. Emma, on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After you put it down, it was possible to leave a handprint in that locker. So that mark, so that must mean this blood mark was left behind? Yes, indeed. Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape taken by the security camera. Oh yes, Officer Meekins cut his hand from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your third claim. Objection, bitch! The murder portrayed in the security tapes have been proven to be fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found in the locker. Oh, no. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand additional evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first evidence occur? To summarize, the defense claims that prior to the Officer Meekins being cut by our Drake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room. That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves this. Very well. Then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one evidence that can show that. Now then, will the evidence please present this evidence? It's very simple, Your Honor. Where is it? Yeah. BAM! If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. In order to do so, an ID card would be required. An ID card? Oh, the ID card record. Yes, sir. Officer Meekins brought the blue badge or panel into the evidence room at... Let's see here. 4:50 p.m. So the crime took place before that time, then it would be... 4:50 p.m. Ah! Ah! Miles Edgeworth? Just what have you done? I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure it out. Couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer. I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's take a look at the chart again. Who's 7777? Talk about a lucky number. But wait, that doesn't make sense. How would Detective Gorman have entered the evidence room? Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in there with 77777. Master Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 777777. That's 1 7 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 7777777 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. You don't have the authority to acquire such a person's identity. But that's ridiculous. Now, just how... I'm not finished talking, right? There was one situation in which being granted such authority. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge? You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I appreciate it if you'd keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Alana? Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked her up. We've looked up her ID number, and it's not 7777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about the incident. That's all not innocent. Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? God damn, she fine. Do you need no witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, occasionally we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least I did. Lana? I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized that we were the ones being suppressed by the law. Defendant, just what are you saying? I'll ask again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look at me, an investigator on that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't... I don't have to, Officer Marshall. Why won't you answer him? Classic crimes. I just ripped one. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to. In order for him... Oh, she got on a side profile too. God, we hit it from the back. I mean, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. Lana! Even if it involved forging evidence. Bruh. Did she really just say that out loud? See? See? That's what I'm talking about. No. No! Oh god, the crowd is going wild! Order! 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 Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be stopped. Until I have to wait until I couldn't read it. It was going so fast. Oh my gosh, did she really just say that? She screwed the pooch. She done took the pooch and screwed it. Oh, we're fucked. This is game, set, match. Yep, that's a checkmate right there. We're done. Game over.